and welcome to Coffee Break Blogging, where you'll learn to grow and monetize your blog in short, tactical installments you can use right away. Now here's the next episode in our series. Welcome back to another installment of Coffee Break Blogging, where this isn't just another podcast, it's a full-blown course on building an online business based around your blog from scratch. My name is David Risley, and if you want to catch up with us from the beginning, head on over to coffeebreakblogging.com to view the full archives and catch up with us. It started back around episode 30 or so, where we transitioned into Coffee Break Blogging, and we are now at episode 149, so there's a lot to catch up on. Today, I want to talk to you about how to use your email list to move people through your profit funnel, your sales funnel. Now, if you back up to the last episode where I talked about how a blog makes money, I kind of reiterated the bird's eye view of exactly what we're doing with their blog and how the blog fits into the overall scheme of things. Now, one of the things that I mentioned in that episode was that the email list has the main purpose of moving people along inside your sales funnels. The whole purpose of the email list really is to keep people flowing through your blog profit funnels, okay? Now, the blog profit funnels, these are essentially your sales funnels. I like to call them blog profit funnels personally because, you know, my whole business revolves around the blog and how everything tacks into the blog. So I'm fairly specific about the way that I define it, but at the same time, it's essentially a sales funnel. I mean, that's what it is, okay? Now, these sales funnels, you're going to have a few of them, ideally, and they together make up what I like to call the business machine, which sits behind your blog. Remember, if you go back to episode 148, the blog's primary purpose is to attract people. And then the lead magnet is designed to get them to stick, kind of like flypaper. Okay. And then once they've gone through that lead magnet and they're on your list, they're now inside of the business machine. Now, the business machine is composed of your funnels. And these funnels, generally speaking, have the layout of a front-end offer into a core offer, which in my case, I'm a big fan of the membership site in that spot. And then they move up into higher-end offers. Okay. That's the basic gist of it. And you can have multiple funnels. In fact, it's ideal that you do. Now, the components of these multiple funnels don't have to be different. And for example, it's not like every single funnel that you do needs to have a separate membership site or a separate core offer to put into that place. I mean, they could all point into the same thing. It's just that you have different front-end offers to get them there. I mean, so we this is all stuff we talk about, by the way, inside the Blog Monetization Lab. But I just want to make sure you understand the basic structure there. And these funnels collectively go together to make up the business machine behind your blog, okay? Now, your email list is designed to get people flowing through those funnels. You can look at these funnels just kind of like a pipe, okay? And each of these pipes have a beginning and an end. And the beginning is when a person subscribes to the lead magnet. And then at the end would be either when that person falls off and decides not to buy, or when they've kind of bought everything, okay? But that's the pipe. You know, that pipe has a length. And the more people that you can keep into that pipe, into that funnel, the more money you're going to make, okay? It's that simple. The more people that are actively engaged in one of your funnels, the more money you will make. And that actually should be something that you measure on a daily or weekly basis with your business. You know what your funnels are, and you should set it up to where you can actually measure and look at your email system and look at exactly how many people are actively in those email sequences at any given time. Because that will tell you how many people are actively being marketed to. Because your whole list is not going to be being marketed to simultaneously, not if you're doing this right. You know, if you're sending the exact same message to every single person on your list, you're going to probably get more unsubscribes, or going to be less interested because you might not be talking to them about what they're interested in at that point. All right? So if you're segmenting your list a little bit better, then people are going to be going through these funnels when they raise their hand and said they're interested in that particular thing. If they don't, then they're not going to be being marketed to. It's just basically going to be blog posts and stuff. Okay. All right. So looking at that, if we can, how do we measure how many people are being engaged in your funnels at any given time? Well, when you set this up, if you are on a list-based system, kind of like Aweber, where you have different email lists, or MailChimp works this way, then what you would simply do is that list is designed to deliver a particular autoresponder sequence to them. And so you can just basically look at how many people are on that list, and that will give you your figure. Now, if you're using a more advanced system that uses tags, and it's a marketing automation platform, and this would be something like Infusionsoft, Entreport, or ActiveCampaign, then this is even easier, because part of that sequence is going to be that you can add a tag to their system at the beginning. Basically, when they enter the pipe, you can add a tag to their system. And the tag could be something like active engagement or active marketing or something. You can call this tag anything you want. And when they enter that pipe, part of your sequence is to add that tag to their profile. And then when they come off the other end of that pipe, part of the sequence would be to remove that tag from the profile. And so what you can actually do is just set up a metric inside your system that says how many people have that tag, active marketing, on their profile. And that will be your measure of how many people are actively inside of one of your funnels at any given time. Okay? Pretty simple, and it's a very important metric. Okay? So let's back up. Your email list, again, is the primary mechanism for securing engagement with your funnels. Now, let's mention here, the blog can do it, and a lot of people try. A lot of people, they use their email list primarily as a way to deliver latest blog posts and that type of thing. And so that's really all they're using the list for, and when they try to sell things, they're pretty much using the blog to do it. Usually by way of just having sales letters on the blog, maybe in your top navigation, you kind of cross your fingers and hope people arrive on it. And periodically, maybe you link to the sales letter in your email list. Well, that's a way to do it, but realize that the blog doesn't have the primary function of making sales, okay? They're not really as engaged when they're on your blog. It's not nearly as effective at sales. The blog, as we've already stated, has the primary function of attracting people and engaging people. But that's about it. When it comes to making direct sales on the blog, it's generally going to be less effective. You're going to make most of your sales with your email list. So, this goes to the heart of why everybody worth their salt who talks about this stuff will talk about the importance of building your email list. It really is important. You don't have a sales medium if you're not building up the list. It really is that simple. Okay. So let's talk about where people get onto these lists and kind of generally how it moves people along. Well, when people subscribe to any one of your lead magnets, they're going to be put onto an automatic email sequence or an autoresponder that markets your front-end product. If you look at the blog profit funnel, the blog monetization model, that's kind of where the business machine starts, is with the front-end offer. Now, when they opt in to your lead magnet, the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to deliver that lead magnet to them as promised. But then what happens after that? Well, what happens after that is they're going to get a series of emails. It's generally not very long, maybe 3 or 4 days, that markets the front-end product to them. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of copywriting here and what to say in those emails. That is all stuff that we talk about inside the Blog Monetization Lab. But just realize the big picture here. Somebody opts into a lead magnet, and they're going to be put onto a 3 to 4 day, generally speaking, email sequence. These are automatic emails that you've pre-written, and they're designed to get the person to take the next step in your business machine, which is going to be to buy your front-end offer. Okay? Now, if a person buys that front-end offer, then you're going to put them into a new email sequence. And this is going to be a sequence that only buyers are going to get, It's going to, of course, deliver the front-end product, make sure they got access to it and everything, but then it's going to proceed to get them to upsell into the next thing in your funnel. And so I hope that you can see how the email system, the email list is designed to move people along by way of these autoresponder sequences that you write, okay? Now, if the person doesn't buy, which odds are they're not. I mean, let's just be honest. It's a minority of people. Even if you're the best copywriter and you got the best product in the world, majority of people are not going to buy what you offer to them. And that's fine. It's a fact of life. So if they don't buy, what's going to happen is you could do one of two things. One is that you can move them into a cross-sell email sequence if you'd like. So you have an email sequence that is designed to sell another front-end offer that you have, and you just move them over to that, okay? Or you can basically let them fall off and get put onto your general list. Now, the general list is basically the one that you do what most bloggers think of first and foremost, and that is letting people know about your latest blog post and things like that. That's what you do with your general email list. Most bloggers out there already kind of understand what to do with a general list, but what they fail to do is have the automatic email sequences in place to do the sales for them, okay? So that's an important point. Now, once they're on your general list, what's actually happening? Well, as I said, you are sending them things like latest blog posts, maybe tips, stories that you have to do, that you have to tell them about, all the things that you would typically think of with a list. But I want you to keep the purpose of this in mind, okay? Because this is important. The purpose is not simply to get them to click over to your blog and read and then go back into the ether, okay? The purpose is to get them to re-engage. The purpose is really to get them to re-enter a new funnel by way of either a new front-end sale or a new lead magnet subscription, okay? Remember those pipes? These pipes are your funnels, and the more people you have inside those pipes at any given point, the more money you're going to make. So the purpose of your general list is to attract them so that they enter another one of those pipes. And so you get people who will decide not to buy, or they end up on your general list, and most people will be there. And your job is to get them to re-engage and re-enter one of those pipes, because that's how you're going to get them to buy something and turn into a customer, okay? Now, the way that you do that is not by way of constantly hitting them over the head with offers, sale, flash sale, buy this. No. And most of us, I probably would not be comfortable doing that. I am not ever condoning that you're hitting people over the head with offer after offer after offer, okay? What you do with the general list is pretty much you're giving people free content at all times. Now, periodically, you might offer a sale on a front-end offer or something like that. But most of the stuff that you send these people is just going to be free, helpful stuff. Now, the key here, though, is that every single time you do that free and helpful stuff, you always have a call to action, okay? And if they take that call to action, the result is going to be that they just re-entered one of your funnels, okay? So every single time you present anything to your general list, it should have the purpose of getting somebody back into one of your funnels. And that's either going to be by way of maybe they click from your list directly into a front-end offer and they buy. Great. They skip the lead magnet altogether. But another way that you can do it is to tell them about another lead magnet. That's why you need to have more of these things, okay? You need to have multiples. Because if they opt into one of your new or secondary lead magnets, they just reactivated themselves as a person interested in that, and then you can bring them down into a new sales funnel that talks about that and maybe gets them to buy something based around that particular topic, okay? So that's essentially how that works. Now, here's the thing. That was kind of a bird's eye view. I hope it made sense to you. That being said, I have a full action plan that walks you through all this. It's in graphical formats. You're actually going to, everything that I just said to you verbally, you're actually going to be able to see it. So if you had a hard time understanding it, you'll see it. Not only that, we talk a lot more about what you actually say in those emails and how to structure these lists together and how it actually works. And that action plan is called the Email Follow-Up Engine, and you'll find it exclusively inside the Blog Monetization Lab. See, a lot of the stuff that we talk about on this podcast, I go into it in much more detail in a way that you can actually execute it step 1, step 2, step 3 inside the blog monetization lab. I mean, that's why the lab exists, okay? So if you want to put that into use, and you really need to, because if you just have a blog and you're sending people into links, and you maybe you've got a sales page for a product and it's just kind of showing up on your sidebar with a banner and that type of thing, you're really... that's going to be ineffective, and I'd be really surprised if you're making that many sales. The way to do it is to have the email follow-up engine in place. So in order to figure out how to build that for yourself and get the walkthrough on this, you need to go through the email follow-up engine action plan. Head on over to blogmonetizationlab.com. Join us today. You're going to get access to that action plan as well as all the other ones that we've got inside the system, and more coming all the time, because I'm actively working on new training all the time. Trust me on that. And you could do that over at blogmonetizationlab.com. Okay, thanks so much for listening, and I will see you next time here on Coffee Break Blogging. Thanks for listening to this episode of Coffee Break Blogging. If you like what you heard here today, we have something awesome we'd love to send you. It's called the Blog Conversion Guide, and it has 9 tweaks you can make to your blog in order to increase your conversion rate to get more opt-ins and sales. As one of our listeners, we'd love to give you access to this guide absolutely free. You can get your copy right now by going to coffeebreakblogging.com. Again, go to coffeebreakblogging.com to get your copy, and we'll see you next time.